So, welcome everyone to this week's episode of Great Beards of Westeros. I'm Samuel Linde, and today with me, of course, we have our other cast hosts. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Buzz. No, I'm not. I'm Jacob. Or Jakob.
I'm Buzz.
Of course, you are.
That's good.
Of course, I am Buzz.
Wow,
This
Buzz
is so
Hannon.
good.
Of course you are, yes.
I can feel this will be a great time. So, if you didn't hear that correctly, or if you didn't understand what we were doing, we have a great guest this week. I think it's pretty fair to say that Buzz Hannon is one of the best players of Thrones in the world, not attending the big tournament scene. Wouldn't you guys agree to that?
Well, I certainly would agree to that. And I like this because there's no way to prove it wrong. Because I'll never lose at a big
Brilliant.
tournament. I will not attend. It's a way of protecting my reputation. Of course, all the guys from my local tournament scene in Tulsa are laughing because I never won anything there. But what they fail to understand is that the Tulsa meta is probably the best in the world. So being third best, fourth best there is like fourth best in the world, probably.
That's very true and very deep. And not only that, you've moved away from Tulsa. So, I mean, the best is not good enough for you, I guess.
No, I needed to craft a new meta, at which I ruled it alone myself. So I'm the best player in my town, Alamo, California. Nobody is greater than me there. Unbelievable.
That's pretty
You might
great.
even say I'm a championship level player.
So,
that's awesome.
So with
Great
that,
Great to have you on.
Yeah, great to be on. Jacob and I have been friends, for, what would you say, like 10 years. And he texted me 10 years ago and says, I have an idea for a podcast about beards. And I'm like, this is great. Podcasts haven't been invented, but I love where you're going. And at that time, I began growing my beard. And so for 10 years, this is the best I can do. It's a problem, and hopefully you guys can help me. So I think I've come to the right place.
we're here to help.
We'll do our best. Thing is, 10 years ago, Jakob didn't know what a beard was, probably. So, but things have, time has caught up with him as well. So I'm really happy that we can finally have this moment 10 years later to sort of see where this all ended.
Yeah, I don't think our audience is close to there yet. But in time, they will see pictures of me without beard. But it will be pretty frightening. So we'll wait a few weeks with that.
Yeah, you're talking about old pictures, right?
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely.
Well, thank God.
Yeah. So with that, let's do the intro, shall we? And for our live audiences, it will just be silent. So enjoy. Awesome. So, if you didn't know, you've tuned into the 5th episode of Great Beards of Westeros. I can't believe we're still doing this. We should be running out of gas soon, I feel.
We've been going on forever, right?
Yeah.
Forever and ever.
So, first of all, Buzz is back. Buzz is back from Paris. How is it? Can you tell us a little bit about Paris?
It was very fun. Great people.
Mhm.
Great players, of course. Some really high-level players. And lots of beer. And beards.
Did you say beard?
Beer and beards.
Mm.
Hmm.
Did you see a lot of beards there?
I see there was a lot of flimsy beards, like beginners. Probably they've listened to the podcast and they've started out.
Mm.
So I'm counting them. But there were two guys. Maybe I will post pictures of them later that I found really. They had a nice full beard. Yeah.
On behalf of the Paris attendees with the flimsy beards, I am offended. But what can you do?
Yeah, what can you do? But
You just try
apparently,
your
what was that?
I just said you have to just do your best. And that's all you
Exactly. And you did pretty well, didn't you, Buzz, beard-wise?
Yeah, I made the cut actually. That was pretty nice.
Whoa,
Oh, I
yeah,
thought you
yeah,
meant that you cut your beard.
Cut
Wow,
your beard.
that's scary. That's
Whoa.
scary.
No. No. I made the cut and played more games.
Good.
It was good.
We're hearing stories about that you actually intimidated your opponent in the final game.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So there's already a YouTube video up, and you can hear me say it actually, and we will link it in the show notes, of course. Yeah, I told him, my friends in Sweden, they believe you can't win because you have no beard, and he laughed, but he looked kind of sad. And of course,
So defeated.
it was I think a 10-minute game or something. He conceded in round 3.
Obviously.
Wow.
I mean, at that time in the tournament, your beard had grown enormously long, so I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
But you had a great time,
Yeah,
and you
was
won it.
a lot of fun. Of course, not only because I won, but I met LaPlante, a good friend of mine, and made a lot of new friends. Especially the guys who I beat, they were very, very friendly for some reason. Not figured out why, really. But yeah, the 2 of my best new friends are people I beat horribly.
Yeah, normally we have a Swedish lesson, but maybe we can take a minute for an American lesson. We have a saying here, nice guys finish last. So you're meeting the nice guys, making them last. To me, it's perfect. Perfectly makes sense.
One of these guys was Gorik from World's 2014 Melee Final and Joust cut as well. So, he's pretty good. Anyway, what else are we doing here today?
Well, apart from claiming your beard, talking about how good it is, we're actually going to talk about intentional draws and tournament play. And conveniently enough, we've just Fantasy Flight Games just published an article about intentional draws and tournament play. This is a topic that I don't think anyone has been. I don't know. Nobody's really. It hasn't gone under the radar for anyone, I guess. Intentional draws has been the topic of the week for several weeks out there in the Game of Thrones groups on Facebook and on the forums. First of all, what are you guys' thoughts about the intentional draws and how FFG handled it up until this point?
I love FFG. You can always count on them to disappoint you, no matter what the decision. So I went to the article today, and I was disappointed once again. It just made me feel so comfortable to know that there's such consistency from the organized play team. So, man, I was thankful for that.
Yeah, the last thing you want when you play this game and when you go to tournaments is I don't know, getting something that you don't want and that you don't see coming. And like you said, when it comes to the organized play in FFG, we know what's coming. How about you, Samuel?
Well, I've been sort of on the fence from this. I've talked to people who have backgrounds in other games where intentional draw has been a fact and been a part of the game for a long time, who basically just shrugged their shoulders of the whole thing and just said, well, why is this an issue? I can see why it is an issue in this community, because we play a game that, first of all, doesn't have any prize money. We don't have any rankings. We don't have anything that makes you. I mean, most people, though they pay for their travels, they pay for accommodation, and they don't earn anything from their playing. So I think most of us play this game because we love it, not because we have a financial incentive to play it, which makes this element. Well, of course, I can't say that I'm sponsored.
Yeah, as far as I know, there's only one sponsored player currently, which is Supercuts. don't know if you know him, but American haircut chain, Supercuts, kind of works against the beard angle. But if he's willing to stoop so low for prize money, I can't stand in his way.
Wow. The things you learn on this podcast, guys, it's an
I'm baffled.
source of wisdom.
I'm baffled.
You heard it here first. So good. But I mean, I'm glad FFG were sort of quick to respond to this issue. I'm really curious to see what this leads to, because we now heard that the solution they go for, they will keep the intentional draws for the games that they currently support that have that are played
matchups?
2 games, like Star Wars and Netrunner, where you play 2 games. They're keeping intentional draws for that, but for games like X-Wing and Game of Thrones, they will remove draws completely. So no game will end in a draw. And as I suggested on one of the posts on Facebook today, I think the best way for FFG to go is to make the tiebreaker the strength of beard. Which makes a lot of sense on so many levels. So I think, without knowing anything official, I think that's the way they're going to go.
Yeah.
So are you saying, Samuel, that the stronger beard should win? Or are you saying that the weaker beard should win because they've obviously managed to overcome a handicap and battle to a tie? Because I can see it perhaps both ways.
Yeah, I can see it go both ways. I think the beard factor will be very strong in FFG's decision. But I can see them go either way. Obviously, I would like them to favor the stronger beard. But for someone to play a strong game without having a strong beard, that's quite an effort. It's quite an effort, for sure.
Well, I look forward to being disappointed by the decision, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
Better be prepared.
Consistency is nice.
Consistency is nice. And I think as well, just having one tiebreaker as strongest beard or weakest beard might be a little bit too little. We might need more tiebreakers. Maybe, I don't know, we'll talk about finesse. We'll talk about the length of twists and twirls. Maybe we'll talk about curls in the beard. Yeah. There might be infinite numbers of tiebreakers in the beard.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about, I mean, scent of beard oil. Did the winning player use an unscented beard oil? Did he use a sort of a woodland wilderness? Did you use more of a spice-ish oil? There's a lot of factors. They probably would need to have like a table where they grade different types of oils and scents, so you could position a player on different levels of this table depending on what scent they're using. So lots of things could factor into the decision.
Maybe amount of gray within the beard. Mine is becoming towards 10% gray.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
A lot of wisdom there.
Yeah,
so, I would say definitely having a salt and pepper beard would definitely be top 3 of beard shapes or beard types.
In the room, at least. I think.
Oh yeah. So having that said, preparing for this episode, we spoke a little bit about intentional draws, and obviously we didn't know that FFG was going to issue or take care of this issue. However, they now decided to do. We actually prepared some different scenarios that we've actually encountered during this short period of time where we've actually had to handle intentional draws. So I think all of us here in the cast this week have prepared some intentional draws, or at least draws, where we're gonna speak a little about and give our own grades about are these draws actually intentional or are they accidental, if you know what I'm saying. Buzz, you wanna start us off talking about Swedish Buzz then?
Yes, so the first draw we have is made by Samuel. It's his take on Burned Men.
Yep. And for those of you who are watching this live on the Twitch stream or watching it on YouTube, you can probably see it on your screen already. For those of you listening on the audio, you can see all the draws on in the show notes.
What if you're guest hosting and need to see these pictures?
Oh,
asking for a friend.
Asking
we'll
for a
just
friend.
put some elevator music on, and then we'll post them here.
Yeah,
in the...
I think you might be able to see it on your internet device screen.
Okay.
My friend is thankful.
Awesome, yeah. So these burned men, it's quite subtle, but my take on the burned men is that we're definitely talking about not an intentional draw, but a very accidental draw. You see the burned man with his dagger raised. He's actually been doing sort of a backhand motion, cutting off his beard. So we're talking about an accidental draw in the literal aspect, that he accidentally cut off his beard in this picture.
Oh.
And it's definitely looks like sort of an accidental scribble on the card itself. So very much an accidental draw, not an intentional one at all.
So what you're saying is almost his cape is not in fact a cape, but it's the shrapnel that's flying off as he's making the cutting motion.
Yep.
Okay.
It is.
Oh, you can see the pieces of hair in his hand there as well.
Yep.
Hmm.
And
Samuel, I'm also seeing that your Skype profile picture is also an accidental draw. Unless I'm mistaken.
Oh wow.
Yep.
How did that happen?
That's from way back in the day. It's from a dark period in my life.
I'm going to close my eyes.
I keep it as my Skype profile to remind me of how things could have been.
And how good
Almost
things
like
are now.
Kind of like a head on a spike to remind you, don't do what this guy did.
Exactly.
That's good.
Exactly. So yeah, you see the burn man, you see the frustration in his face, you see the outrage on his friend's face in the background. What's happening in here? So yep, that's my take on the intentional or accidental draw in this case. And then my next suggestion which is actually very much an intentional draw, is Alanis Greyjoy. And you have to study this picture. You have to try to think a little bit about what's going on in the background with this one, because it's kind of subtle. I think what we have here is we have very much an intentional draw from the illustrator, who is protesting the lack of beard in Alanis' picture. You have Alanis sort of stroking her chin, where there should have been a beard, but there is no beard. And I think the illustrator sort of picked up on this theme, and he intentionally drew Alanis without a beard, whereas I think she should have had a full beard.
I'm remembering her character from the novels is just depressed and locked in the tower and just bemoaning her circumstance, and this has made it very clear. I think he's captured it perfectly.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I'm very thankful about that. That's been something that's been bothering me for a few years' time now. I've never really understood the character or what her intentions. Yeah. But now,
sort of a window into her soul, I think.
Oh yeah.
This one. Yep.
All right.
So that's my contributions.
And then it's my contribution, and we have a Littlefinger. Hopefully you have a picture of him. And I made some improvements, I think. What do you say?
So
I said, let me find my other internet device. That's what I say.
It's
it certainly looks like he
see what we can do about your friend's internet device.
Yeah.
Yep. I think you should be able to see it now. Buzz.
Yeah, it's beautiful, actually.
It actually looks a little bit like you.
Yes, it's my favorite character, the one I identify him the most. One of my favorite cards from first edition. So it's very, very intentional that I drew this style. I would have liked a bit more red, but yeah.
There are touches of red. I think I zoom in. I see touches of red in his beard.
Yeah. Reddish brown.
I love that he's crouching behind the wall as if to hide from the burned man with his dagger.
Oh yeah.
He's intact.
I mean, he has definitely been oiling his beard for a few days. He's very shy and going out in the sun, staying in the shadows there. It also feels like he has he has got some nice intentions. I cannot really tell what it is, but it looks like he could be hiding maybe a Varys in his beard or something. You never know.
I only have one contribution because I painted this a few minutes ago. So next up is Jacob's Han Solo.
Oh yeah, I actually switched universe here because I couldn't find any intentional draws in the Game of Thrones universe. So but apparently you guys found some things that I didn't. Let me see if we can put this up for Buzz's friend's internet device here.
I have sent them to him in Facebook. Yes.
Oh, that's good. Then.
Yes.
So
he is
Hans,
a Facebook user, my friend. He is.
Oh, that's good. So
That's great.
so Han Solo here, he's playing cards. I bet he's playing Lannister here. It looks like it. The cards are sort of reddish. And he's obviously playing against Lando on the other side. And his beard is he's confused, and I'm not sure if it's because of his beard growth or if it's because he's playing Lannister. I don't know. I can't tell really. But I would definitely say that.
Confused as to why you drew on the actual card rather than digitally. But
Yeah.
sorry to break it to poor Han that we would never do this to a Game of Thrones card. They're way too valuable. But Star Wars LCG is fundamentally worthless. So it's
Oh
no
yeah,
problem to draw.
I didn't draw it. It was actually like this when I unpacked the box. So
Wow.
So then it must have been intentional.
An intentional draw. I was thinking.
yeah,
this was an
exactly. That's what
accidental
I'm.
draw.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Like a
thinking.
child got near to the card or something. But
Oh yeah,
I'm baffled.
because his upper lip is definitely missing some straws there. So I'm not sure what is actually going on in the art department here for Fantasy Flight. We might have to make a phone call or two. But my next contribution, or well, I can be on. Yeah, my next contribution is actually what I would say an accidental draw, probably because I drew this and I can't really remember why I did it. But it's Grand Moff Tarkin. And I think I might have switched out this image from one of my German friends, which I was painting on, and then I accidentally just painted on Grand Moff and drew on Grand Moff Tarkin instead. It felt like he needed this stash and his beard. It's pretty weak.
I just have to repeat my point that Star Wars LCG is fundamentally weak, and so I'm not surprised to see this garbage.
Yeah. So we might have to just end my contribution to this segment there, and just move on to our noble guests' contributions to this segment.
Oh, this is a great moment because we have received a official. Is it official spoiler from FFG
Yeah.
of an upcoming
just
Robert Baratheon?
Wow.
Robert Baratheon. Second cycle. There's no text available, but we can definitely see the art. So I think Andreas will put that up for us.
Yes.
The whole podcast is basically people telling Andreas what to do. It's a great thing.
Great format.
So here you can see, it's Robert because he has the Warhammer there. He has the crowned king. You can see just the strength in his biceps there. But the real strength is in that beard. He's looking a little bit worried. I think this is most likely the Robert at the Ruby Ford. He's just exhausted, And I'm going to say this is intentionally drawn by FFG art department to depict Robert at the height of his powers. There's
might
great
also
language.
might also be that he is a bit worried about those burned men. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. The trident is actually pretty near to the veil. If my geography doesn't let me down.
He does look kind of troubled. His face expression is like an S, S smiley.
Yeah, he is worried. He is burdened.
But
This is a great find. We're very thankful for FFG.
I actually think you had
Yeah,
an earlier version of it as well.
Yeah, this was spoiled by I think the Czech distributor on accident, and you can see here this is obviously accidentally drawn. The beard is not well placed. The text is just all mismatched. he's extra worried. I'm glad that we have the refined version that's actually going to see print here.
I mean, he's not even in this picture.
That's
He's
good.
not even holding his warhammer. He's just he's letting it go. One can only imagine that feeling.
And look
Beard.
at his expression now. It's even more grim, you know.
Yeah.
That is true.
So it totally suits his lack of beard. I mean, the beard is completely offset in this picture. It's like his beard is on a, like he's on the Trident fighting Rhaegar, and his beard is off fighting some random Targaryen henchman somewhere. It's completely off. I don't understand how this even. I mean, obviously FFG is play testing all their cards, but this card, it looks like it shouldn't even have gone to that phase of the process. Wow.
I can't even speak anymore with the pain that this is causing me.
So let's go to the next segment where you get to talk about something more nice.
Exciting.
Big feisty beard. We go to Beard of the Week, and you have chosen a card for us to check out.
Ah, yes, this is great. Let me remember what card I chose, and then go to Thrones DB and find it.
So let us remind you that it's Rise of the Kraken.
Oh, this is a great card. I love it. I love
For
it.
those of you who don't know about it, it's Tomasz Jędrzejczyk.
Tomasz.
Tomasz, we
I
know.
didn't even pick Jędrzejczyk art on purpose, but I think just how could I have done anything otherwise? I mean, he's just top in the art for this game. I think the way that Magali has defined the art style for Lord of the Rings card game, I think Jędrzejczyk has done the same for Thrones. And man, this is a great piece. Victarion's coming off of the boat. He's coming to get me. I don't know if you're wearing your 3D glasses like I am, but it's like he's leaping off of the screen. He has the axe. Wow. It's keeping it well away from his beard, as you can see, which is excellent technique. He learned from the Burned Man. And I know when my opponent plots this, they are coming for my jugular. They are coming to kill. And unless I do something right away, it's game over.
Yep.
Excellent beard.
You need to oppose that guy.
You need to oppose him. Otherwise, you're losing.
You lose your beard, and you lose the game.
But how can you? I mean, you have to beat him in the beard department first.
He has a great beard. He has that kind of beard that just extends into the hair. You have no idea where the hair begins and where the beard begins. It's seamless.
Is he even a man?
It could be that he has beard. You mean not only that it's seamless. It's actually beard on top of his head, streaming down.
Yeah, like he's all beard.
Yeah, it's probably all over his chest as well.
I've seen beards which connect from the chin on down through the neck and into the chest region, but I've not seen one like this that starts all the way on the top of the head. That's the next level.
What a monstrosity! In a good way.
In a very good way. This is a great pick, Buzz. I love this pick. It's funny because this is a card that obviously it's a great card. It's a staple in I think every Greyjoy deck in the current meta. Will be for a foreseeable future, but the artwork, I don't know if it's the sort of anonymity that you have to study the picture a bit more in detail to find out who this guy is. It kind of makes it fly a bit under the radar.
You know, some Greyjoy players are replacing this with a Clash of Kings in their decks, which is it's a personal taste. But if you'll notice, Clash of Kings is Robert with his warhammer and his beard. We've just seen the art from that, and so I think that's a suitable substitute.
No.
4 gold makes that strong choice. So,
yeah. Very controversial choice.
It is. And we have been talking about plots with beards before, and this is definitely something that has been going under my radar for a while. I'll see if I can sneak this one into other decks as well. Maybe maybe in my Tyrell decks, they're lacking beard. Would you think that's going to be okay?
It's going to be okay if you do the Banner of the Kraken. No, Banner of the Banner of the Rose. I think you need to play Greyjoy as the main faction with this one.
Oh, but I don't want to.
Well,
You can false banner.
yeah, you can do that. False Banner.
Or depending on what FFG does with their tournament rule, get rid of draws. They may also get rid of losses, and then at that point, you can just play whatever cards you wish.
That's
True.
good.
True.
Very good. If it's an intentional, maybe if it's an accidental deck building mistake, maybe that's okay. I don't know.
Let's get tough to pass this off as accidental now that this is out on the internet.
Let's get FFG to rule on intentional everything.
Yeah, maybe let the players just decide what's intentional and what's accidental, right?
Yeah.
That seems fair. Right. Should we leave that to as the beard of the week and move on to the next segment, which is honorable mention? You remember this one, Buzz?
Oh, I do. I chose one from my very favorite chapter pack from first edition, which is Valar Morghulis. This is the first pack which was released after I decided to become a competitive player. I remember waiting for this for weeks, went into the Covenant store to open it up, and what did I see but this beautiful young man in my house of choice, House Targaryen. And it's Magister Illyrio from the Valar Morghulis chapter pack. Wow. What a card.
He is a Magister.
What a memory. I love it.
You can also see not only the great beard, but he is actually, the way that he is pointing, it's pretty obvious what he's trying to show, who's ever sitting next to him or on the opposite side of the table. This man is definitely showing off his beard, and what a way to do it.
Have you seen how fine and well combed it is? That's new for me. I've never seen such a fine beard.
Yeah,
it's very fine. It's almost as he takes almost as good care of his beard as he does of his teeth, I think. He has a very luxurious hair as well.
It's got a very nice flow to it.
Yeah. He has nice rosy cheeks. He's a healthy man. And those the forked beard, it's some next level stuff right there. So good. No wonder he's a Magister.
I think he's looking to maximize his tiebreakers in the strongest beard. Double beard will beat a single beard, which will beat no beard.
He was ahead of his time, wasn't he?
It's smart, you know?
Yeah, it's like
he is playing the long plan.
Totally. Maybe he foresaw this situation with the intentional draws in the FFG OP department. So he's showing off. Maybe he's actually jousting in this picture. And they go to time. They're both at 12 power. And Magister Illyrio just... Look at my beard. The other player you win.
It's pretty obvious. He's showing his hand and saying, "Oh, you want to? That's a game, right? I win." He just puts up his hand. As for the handshake, I win the
game. As if to offer the intentional draw, but then he can flip his hand, and you see in there superior claim, 2 extra power. Claims the victory.
Oh, so good, so good. It's so unexpected.
Well, what a memory. First edition.
What a memory.
What is dead may never die, but rises again. Harder and stronger.
I have a confession, and that is I'm not really too fond of Tiziano Baracci's arts usually, but this artwork is one piece of wow. It's just, I cannot describe how I'm in love with this man now from this day on.
You know Tiziano will draw your champ cards, right?
It's out there. It is.
It is known.
It is known. A man knows.
It is known.
Where there are honorable men's, there are also dishonorable ones. We have a dishonorable mention, and that is Buzz.
Oh, this is a fresh card right from the new box. May not have even hit your country, depending on where you are looking. But this is a Song of Summer. Great card from first edition, second edition, not sure. But look at that guy. He has no beard at all. Perhaps he's going to compete in Paris in the tournament. His hopes are high. Oh, my sweet summer child. You cannot win this sitting under a tree. It reminds me of a proverb from the Bible that says, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. That guy should be reading this, growing his beard, instead of sitting there doing nothing. It's just shameful. It's not a good plot. I would not play this in my decks.
Well, yeah.
No, he's definitely singing the song of summer, even though it's pretty obvious. He has chosen the wrong season as well. It's pretty obvious. Winter is coming, and this man doesn't know anything about keeping warm in the winter. Obviously, no beard, very light clothes, and you can see the clouds in the distance over the mountains. Snow is coming. The winter is too, and this man here, he or child, maybe man boy, he'll probably not see the future, in my opinion.
Could you describe him as a man cub, perhaps?
Oh, a man cub. A man cub.
I think that would be the only excuse, but he looks a little too tall to be a true cub.
Yep.
I'm noticing the artist here, Arden Beckwith. I'm not familiar with his work, but do you think this is depicting perhaps his worst enemy? And then he's just memorializing him as this guy, weak, no beard, about to be consumed by winter, just as a way of always reminding his enemy that he has the upper hand.
Yep, some serious projecting going on here.
A little bit
Absolutely.
like George R. R. Martin and Joffrey, where we hear that Joffrey is probably his worst childhood memories combined into one person.
Yeah, this is probably it. Yeah, the artist's worst experiences from his childhood expressed in a plot card.
In a beautiful man cub, who doesn't know the future.
Who doesn't have a beard?
Who doesn't have a beard? This is a great choice. I feel sad for both the illustrator, for the things that he's probably gone through, and for the people who doesn't know better but to play this plot.
Yeah.
May we never see play.
I think he's actually sitting under the tree because he likes the smell of mango, and maybe he's have an idea how to fix his beard, how to start growing it, and he's dreaming about it. Maybe Samuel can tell us something about it in the next section.
Yes, I think so. I think I have the recipe for this guy to achieve some success in the beard growth department. There we go again with the beard department.
Tell us about the tonic of the week.
Yeah, the tonic of the week for this week is this thing. I'm holding it up for the camera for you guys on the Twitch stream and on the YouTube channel. It's a beard oil from a UK-based company called Apothecary 87, and they have several types of beard oils. This one is a special one. It's vanilla and mango. And let me repeat that. It's not mango, it's mango. This is how the box looks. This is how the beautiful, beautiful flask looks. So
I've smelled it.
Samuel, can you hold up the box again on the reverse side? I couldn't tell if it was James Womley or Dave Bamford that's on the back. I think that's James.
James.
Close call.
In person.
Close call. I think it's James. Yeah.
Okay. Well done to James. Excellent contract plans.
This is probably Dave.
Stuff
That's Dave. I think.
The
motorcycle. So. Yeah. I don't think James rides a motorcycle, so this I think this is him. Yeah.
Oh, that's obvious.
Yeah, and it says 21 on his tattooed cheek. I think he plays 21 locations in his deck. So
pretty obvious.
Pretty obvious, yeah. So this beard oil, I mean, we've talked about, like I said previously in the cast, we have beard oils with scents, and the typical scents that you find on beard oils are things, they're usually called things like woodland or wilderness or dad's old underwear or something, a really manly scent. This one is called vanilla and mango. You might be tricked into thinking it has a sort of a non-manly scent, but the name gives it away. It's a mango scent. Very much vanilla, very much mango. It's super nice. You smell it. It's like you have a candy in your beard. It's delicious. I picked it up this week at my local barber. It's amazing. I can't recommend it highly enough. I wouldn't use it every day, but use it for those special occasions. Maybe you have special lady friend that is hesitant to accept your facial hair, putting this one in will definitely help.
So if she lacks the nuance that is there for Dad's old underwear beard oil, you switch to vanilla and mango. Problem solved.
Try that one. You should try it at least. Don't
Always
give up.
bring both, in case. You never know.
That's good. Or Illyrio probably has one on the one side, one on the other.
Oh, that's true. And he can just
Oh.
the other one in front. It's good.
You could just turn the other cheek. That's what Jesus meant, I think. Turn the other cheek, because you probably have a different oil on the other side.
Time is ticking, and so, Buzz, tell me about your relationship with supper in Norway.
Well, I'll tell you about my relationship with supper as an American, which is eat it always. And sometimes I eat supper and I'm satisfied, but then come late night, I'm hungry again. But we don't have a word for this in English. Fortunately, I looked to the Great North, and they have a what do you call it? A feast, a festival, a celebration that we call kveldsmat in Norwegian. And in Swedish, it's different. Through my American accent, you won't be able to tell the difference, but it's a nighttime meal, normally consisting of bread with cheese, maybe some jam, maybe some peanut butter, really whatever you want. Just should be carb heavy, I think, to really get the kveldsmat across. It's celebrated by Scandinavians everywhere. And so my wife used to live in Norway, and so she's brought this tradition into our home, for which I am very thankful. And so maybe you can, Andreas, tell us the Swedish way to say it for our Swedish lesson this week. Don't want to pollute the cast with Norwegian. Let's keep it pure.
So the Norwegian says kveldsmat or something funny like that. But of course, we're men in Sweden and women, so we say kvällsmat, which is a huge difference if you didn't hear it.
I mean, the last vowel just punched me in the face. The Swedish one. I think that's strong.
It's usually what happens in Swedish.
And it's almost midnight.
Just punches you in the face.
It's almost midnight for you guys. You should be enjoying a kveldsmat currently.
Yes.
Oh yeah, after the cast, I will have.
I'm just waiting for it. It'll be kvällsmat.
Best time of the day.
Probably the nearest English equivalent for us is midnight snack, but I think that is lacking some of the nuance in kvällsmat. So.
True. And I like how you described it before we started recording, like, if you don't have cheese, you can take something else. The freedom is there.
Oh yeah. I mean, Scandinavia has such freedom. In America, for late night, we just eat ice cream. It's so restrictive. Sometimes I prefer something toastier or more luxurious or even more of a breakfast food type. And so I'm looking for kvällsmat, and now I know the words to say, the language to describe my experience, and I'm very thankful for that. My waistline is less thankful. As my beard is graying, my waistline is expanding. So, what can you do? It's the price we must all pay.
All right.
True.
So we have show notes in this show, and they're usually very great, and I usually understand them. But we have a buzz off, so I'm not entirely sure what to do here. Tell me, Samuel, or no, maybe it was Jacob who wrote them actually.
Well, a buzz off is obviously when we have such a proper guest as Buzz here. We need to speak a little bit, just very shortly, about you, Buzz, Swedish Buzz, and how. Well, let me just leave it off to you, Buzz, to introduce the video segment of this part.
Yeah, I found a video on the internet from Buzz Aldrin, such as we see here. And America is a very crazy place. I don't know if you have ever visited us here, but one thing we love in America is conspiracy theorists. You know, for example, there are people that deny that we actually landed on the moon, or that aliens came to Roswell. I mean, pretty much name a theory, and there's a whole group around it, maybe even a video cast to celebrate that particular subculture. But in this case, it's moon landing deniers And Buzz Aldrin, the real one, the patriarch of our name. What a great man. And he's punching this moon landing denier in the face. So I couldn't actually find the video of that. The closest I could come was finding a conversation between this Buzz Aldrin and Seth after the World's Melee final last year. And so if you want to see that confrontation, I suggest clicking on the link, or maybe we can play it for our viewers. This is, again, me telling Andreas what to do. So the best part of being on the show.
You're the one who said you walked on the moon when you didn't. Calling the kettle black, if I ever thought of it. Saying I misrepresented myself. Away from me. You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Excellent. Excellent. And so I think the true buzz-off, we've decided that Edwin Aldrin, astronaut, second man on the moon, is the true Buzz. The rest of us are just pale imitations.
And from this point on, if you want to differentiate Buzz and Buzz, there's actually a pretty clear difference. Swedish Buzz is Buzz with 2 Z, and the American one, OK Targ, or the whatever your new nickname is, Cali Targ, Bay Area
OK
Targ, maybe. OK Targ is Buzz with 1. So
25% fewer keystrokes saves you time.
Easier to remember.
Streamlined.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah, perhaps it's reflecting our respective beard size as well. Mine is shorter, a little weaker. Andreas is stronger. It's the extra letters. Up to the beholder, I think, to decide which is better.
Yeah.
It was great having you on, Buzz. And I think Samuel,
Sure, it was.
Captain Fawcett, maybe you have a way of telling us, giving us a happy ending to this.
Yes, as usual, a word along the way for you for the rest of the week is that you wax your chips and that you tip your waitresses, everyone. And have a really good week.
Yeah, thank you.